Welcome in, everyone, to the voice of college football and the top 130 that actually makes sense. Yes, we are going to rank all 130 FBS teams for the season of 2021. This is not a look ahead to 22. We will have our way too early top 25 in the next couple weeks. We're going to rank all the teams based on their performance in 2021 using our typical criteria based on performance, based on record, based on the results on the field and the performance on the field and the opponents. The schedule certainly comes into play as well. Let's start down at the bottom at number 130. The UConn Huskies, 1-11. They were so bad that they even lost to UMass by 2 touchdowns. Jim Mora, it's all yours. At number 129, we've got the aforementioned Minutemen of UMass, 1-11. They were outscored this season by 321 points. At number 128, we've got Florida International. They also went 1-11. They lost 11 straight games after opening with a huge win against Long Island. At number 127, we've got New Mexico State at 2-10. They had the 128th rated pass defense in the country. At number 126, the beloved Zips of Akron at 2-10. They had the number 125 scoring defense, gave up a ton of points. At number 125, usually proud, usually good, Arkansas State at 2-10, their second straight losing season after 9 straight winning seasons under mostly Blake Anderson. At number 124, we've got Georgia Southern at 3-9. They scored less than 20 points 8 times. No offense for Georgia Southern. At 123, UNLV, the Runnin' Rebs at 2-10. They started 0-8, so a nice little finish for them at 2-2. At number 122, we've got our first Power 5 entry with the Arizona Wildcats. 1-11 sounds really bad, but that's better than 1-23 over their last 24 games. At 121, we've got New Mexico, 3-9. Worst offense in the FBS, averaging just 233 paltry yards per game. At number 120, we've got the Bobcats of OU, 3-9. 3-9 after 12 consecutive non-losing seasons under Frank Solich. At number 119, South Florida. South Florida went 2-10 in the American Conference, and they're 3-18 the last 2 seasons. All right, now to 118, Louisiana Tech, another team that's used to typically winning. The Bulldogs at 3-9, their first losing season since 2013. At number 117, Tulane. The Green Wave at 2-10, and they give up 61 points to Matt Corral and Ole Miss. Buffalo comes in at number 116. The Buffalo Bulls at 4-8. They lost their final 4 games of the season. At number 115, staying in the MAC, Bowling Green, 4-8, but of course, as a 31-point underdog, they were good enough on a particular Saturday to topple Minnesota of the Big Ten. At number 114, another entry now from the Pac-12, Colorado it's Colorado State at 114, 3-9. They actually led then undefeated Iowa in the second half on the road. At number 113, we've got the Owls of Temple at 3-9. They were so bad on defense, they gave up 61 points in the opener to Rutgers. Rutgers averaged less than 14 points per game against the rest of the FBS. At 112, Naval, the Naval Academy at 4-8. The 8th best rushing offense in the country, which is actually not a good mark for Navy because they run it all the time. 8th best rushing offense, but the 5th worst total offense. Put that together. At number 111, we've got Southern Miss at 3-9. They had the 127th or 4th worst total offense. At number 110, we go to the SEC and the Commodores of Vanderbilt at 2-10. They beat Colorado State by 3. They beat UConn, lowly UConn, by 2. That kept them from going completely defeated for a second consecutive season after 0-10 in 2020. At number 109, we've got Kansas at 2-10. Their scoring defense next to last in the country. At number 108, Rice at 4-8. They started the season with Arkansas, Houston, and Texas and lost by 116 combined points. Ouch. At 107, we've got Charlotte, 5-7, 2 Power 5 opponents. They beat Duke, and they only lost to Illinois by 10. At number 106, we've got Florida Atlantic. FAU went 5-7. They beat rival FIU by 37. At 105, we've got Louisiana Monroe. 4-8 team, lost their final 5 games of the season. Texas State comes in at number 104. 4-8, 2 of the 4 wins in overtime. At 103, South Alabama out of the Sun Belt at 5-7, lost the final 4 games by 83 points to miss a bowl game. At 102, we stay in the Sun Belt with Troy at 5-7. They lost their final 3 games by 79 points to miss a bowl game. At 101, back to the MAC and Ball State at 6-7. They did beat a 9-4 Army team, though. And at even number 100, North Texas, the Mean Green at 6-7. They've now had 3 consecutive losing seasons. At number 99, we go to the Big Ten and Indiana, 2-10, 0-9 in the Big Ten, and they were preseason number 17 in the nation. At 98, we've got Duke at 3-9. David Cutcliffe went 10-25 his final 3 seasons after going 46-32 the previous 6 years. At 97, Georgia Tech, 3-9. Under Jeff Collins, they are now 9-25. Miami of Ohio checks in at number 96 at 7-6. Their out-of-conference schedule included Cincinnati, Minnesota, and Army. Toledo's at number 95. The Rockets went 7-6. They won their final 3 games by 79 points to reach a bowl game. At number 94, we've got Eastern Michigan at 7-6. They lost 56-20 to Liberty in the Lending Tree Bowl, the worst bowl loss of anyone up until New Year's Day, and Virginia Tech and Maryland. At number 93, we've got the Kent State Golden Flashes at 7-7. They beat Miami in overtime to advance to the MAC championship game. At 92, UTEP, the Miners at 7-6. They notched their first winning season since 2014. At 91, we've got Middle Tennessee at 7-6. They closed out with a nice little 5-2 stretch. Number 90, the Monarchs of Old Dominion, 6-7. They won 5 consecutive straight to close out the regular season and reach their first bowl game since 2016. At number 89, San Jose State at 5-7. Lost their last 2 games by 62 points combined to miss a bowl game. At number 88, Hawaii, 6-7. They ranked number 110 in total defense. Number 87, back to the Big Ten in Northwestern. The Wildcats at 3-9, finished 1-8 in the Big Ten after winning the Big Ten Western Division 2 of the last 3 years. At number 86, we've got Colorado. The Buffs at 4-8. They had the worst offense in the Power 5, number 129 nationally at 257 yards per game. Wyoming comes in at 85 at 7-6. The Cowboys scored its most points, 52, in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl against Kent. At number 84, USC. Clay Helton, this is why you don't have a job. USC's worst record since 1991. Stanford came in at 83. The Cardinal at 3-9 with their worst record since 2006. And David Shaw and company just 11-19 in the last 3 seasons. At number 82, we've got Liberty at 8-5. Hugh Freeze and company now 26-11 at Liberty. At 81, Washington, the Huskies at 4-8. Jimmy Lake out of a job after they were a preseason top 25 team. At number 80, we've got Western Michigan, 8-5. They beat the ACC champs and the MAC champs, but they still tied for last in their division. At 79, we've got the Cal Golden Bears at 5-7, who went 15-25 in the Pac-12 under Justin Wilcox. At number 78, Marshall, 7-6. They had the second best scoring defense in Conference USA. Rutgers at number 77. The Scarlet Knights, of course, played that Gator Bowl game against Wake. They went 5-8, and they were given that invite because they had the highest GPA among 5 and 7 ball clubs. At 76, we've got East Carolina at 7-5. They notched their first winning season since 2014. At number 75, Western Kentucky at 9-5. They led the nation in points with 619. Number 74, Syracuse, 5-7. Lost to Florida State, Wake, and Clemson in consecutive weeks by 9 points, basically coming down to the final play of the game in each game against FSU, Wake, and Clemson. At number 73, Nebraska, 3-9. Lost by a combined 22 points to 4 top 10 teams. Florida State finished at 5-7. They're number 72. They started 0-4. At number 71, we've got Central Michigan at 9-4. They replaced Miami and went on to beat Washington State in the Sun Bowl. At number 70, Gary Patterson and TCU, 5-7. In consecutive weeks, they beat Baylor. Then they lost to Oklahoma State by 46. Memphis checks in at 69. The Tigers at 6-6. 8 of 12 of their games were decided by one score. At number 68, Georgia State, 8-5. Georgia State led Auburn 24-12 in the second half before giving up 22 straight points. Boston College comes in at number 67. The Eagles at 6-6. 4-0 non-conference, just 2-6 in the ACC. At number 66, we've got Nevada, 8-5. They lost 3 Mountain West Conference games by just 6 points. At number 65, we've got MAC champion NIU at 9-5. And they came within 4 yards of upsetting Coastal Carolina in the Cure Bowl. At number 64, Tulsa at 7-6. Their last 2 games against Cincinnati for Tulsa, they lost on a last-second field goal, and they lost on a goal line stand by 1 possession each time. At number 63, Brett Bielema and Illinois, 5-7. This team beat Minnesota and Penn State, but they also lost to Charlotte and Rutgers. At 62, we've got Oregon State at 7-6. Their best season since 2013. Number 60 is Texas, 5-7. And for Texas, they are only 53-46 since Mac Brown left in 2013. Number 59, Boise State, the Broncos at 7-5. That's their worst record since way back in 1998. Number 58, Virginia Tech, the Hokies, 6-7. Suffered their 3rd losing season in the past 4 seasons after all winning seasons since 1992. At 57, we've got West Virginia, 6-7. Only Kansas scored less points in 9 conference games than West Virginia, 22 points per game. 56 is Louisville, 6-7. Louisville went 0-2 against 2 SEC teams and were outscored by 50 points. At number 55, we've got North Carolina at 6-7. The Heels were a preseason top 10 team. Then they went 3-5 in the ACC. At 54, we got Virginia, 6-6. Bronco Mendenhall steps down after he finished 36-38 with the division championship. At 53, Appalachian State, 10-4, and they have played in the last 3 Sun Belt Conference championship games. At 52, the Gators of Florida, 6-7, and their 3rd losing season since 2013. At 51 is Missouri, 6-7, and they actually split 2 overtime games against Boston College and Florida. LSU comes in at 50, 6-7 record, their first losing season since 1999. At number 49, we've got Army. The Cadets at 9-4. Cole Talley's walk-off field goal beat Missouri in the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. At number 48 is UAB. The Blazers at 9-4 upset BYU as one of the biggest underdogs of the bowl season. At 47, Auburn, 6-7, lost their final 5 games. At number 46, UCF and former Auburn coach Gus Malzahn at 9-4 gave up 153 points to Cincinnati, SMU, and Louisville. SMU at number 45. The Mustangs at 8-4, but they started 7-0. At number 44, we've got Maryland 7-6 with their first bowl victory since 2010. Number 43's Air Force 10-3 led the Mountain West Conference in scoring defense. 42 UCLA 8-4, 8-0 against losing teams, 0-4 against winning teams. 41 is Iowa State 7-6. They had 5 one-score losses. Number 40 is Arizona State, the Sun Devils at 8-5. Herm Edwards now 25-18 at Arizona State. 39 is South Carolina at 7-6. Shane Beamer started 4 different quarterbacks. Now he's got Spencer Rattler. Coastal Carolina checks in at 38, 11-2, 23-3 the last 2 seasons. At number 37 is Miami at 7-5. Miami beat the 2 best ACC teams on its schedule, Pitt and North Carolina State. Otherwise, 5-3 in the ACC. At 36 is Tennessee, 7-6, 11th in the nation in rushing offense. At 35 is Mississippi State, 7-6. After a rough first season in Starkville, Mike Leach's pass offense finished 4th in the nation. At 34, Texas Tech gets 7-6. They fired Matt Wells after a 5-3 start and a 1-point loss to Kansas State. At 33, Kansas State 8-5 and their first bowl win since 2017. Penn State at number 32. The Nittany Lions 7-6. James Franklin, though, just 11-11 in his last 22 games. 31, Texas San Antonio. UTSA went 12-2 in Conference USA champs. They won 6 games by 1 score. At number 30, Fresno State 10-3, and the best scoring differential in the Mountain West Conference at plus 167. At number 29, Utah State 10-3. Bookend wins versus the Pac-12. Washington State in the opener. Oregon State in the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. At number 28, Oregon 10-4. They beat Ohio State. They lost to Stanford. At 27, San Diego State 12-2. 14th in the nation in total defense. 17th in scoring defense. Number 26, BYU at 10-3. They went 5-0 against the Pac-12. At 25, Louisiana 13-1, and Billy Napier finished his tenure there at Louisiana 34-5 in the last 3 years. Houston at 24, 12-2, won their first bowl game since 2015. At 23, NC State 9-3. The Wolfpack beat Clemson for the first time since 2011. At number 22, we got Wake Forest at 11-3 and the 4th best scoring offense in the country. At number 21, Iowa 9-4 with the 99th scoring offense in the country. At number 20, Wisconsin 9-4, and they finished top 5 in all major defensive categories. Minnesota at number 19. The Gophers at 9-4. PJ Fleck now 3-0 in bowl games. At number 18, Purdue 9-4, and of course 2 top 5 wins. At 17, Texas A&M at 8-4. Good enough to beat Alabama one night, but still went only 4-4 in the SEC. Number 16, Clemson 10-3. Gave up 43 less points than anyone in the ACC and also beat Wake, the division winner, by 21. Kentucky's at number 15. The Wildcats at 10-3 now have notched 4 consecutive bowl wins. At 14, Arkansas 9-4 with their best record since 2011. At number 13, Pitt 11-3 scored 40-plus points 8 times. Number 12's Utah 10-4 from 1-3 to start to Pac-12 champions and a Rose Bowl berth. Number 11, Ole Miss at 10-3 wins over Texas A&M, Arkansas, Mississippi State, and LSU, typical powers in the Western Division. At number 10, we've got Oklahoma. OU at 11-2. The record looks good, but 2021, of course, meant disappointment, then change. At number 9, Notre Dame 11-2. The Marcus Freeman era is underway. Michigan State at number 8 at 11-2. Their best finish since 2015. Ohio State number 6, 11-2. What would have happened in the playoffs? Or if they had a defense. Number 5, Oklahoma State, 12-2. Mike Gundy called the Fiesta Bowl the greatest win in school history. Number 4, Baylor, 12-2. And their first major bowl win since the 1956 Sugar Bowl. Number 3, Michigan, 12-2. First Big Ten championship since 2004. First win over Ohio State since 2011. Highest ranking since they won the national championship in 1997. Number 2, Alabama, 13-2. With a healthy Mechie and Williams, who knows? And at number 1, Georgia, 14-1. First national championship since 1980 and the best defense since... There's your voice of college football 1 through 130 rankings for the 2021 season. Leave your comments down below. Don't forget to like the video. Share this video out on social media. People out there don't know that we're here talking college football with you each and every day. Best discussion, debate, and analysis of the game we all love because of your contribution. And we will see you soon.